The very first thing that you need to do to begin actually quilting on the machine is to bring up your bobbin thread. And the reason that we do this is so that your tension is good from the very first stitch on. So in order to do that, sometimes you have to put your presser foot down, sometimes it's better to leave it up in your machine, you just keep trying different things. But I just take, this is where the half stitch capability comes in. I put the presser foot down, take a half stitch down, I'm holding on to my top thread, take another half stitch to pop it back up, and see how that bobbin thread just pops right back up? And I grab onto both of those and pull them to the side to hang on to them. So that's what you need to start every time that you begin a line of machine quilting. Now, when you begin or end a line of machine quilting, you need to secure those stitches so that they don't pull out. And there's two rules of thumb with that. There's two different ways you can do it, and I choose whichever way shows the least. So some threads, when you're using thicker threads, one way may work better than the other. The first way that I use probably most of the time, it's probably not always the best choice, but I do this most of the time because it's a habit. But I take 2 stitches forward, very small, 2 stitches back, and then I continue on with whatever I'm going to do. Now, if you're doing a continuous line design and you're going to end back on that same point where you started, only secure the stitches once. Do it at the end when you go back on that beginning line of stitching and do your securing then. There's another way to do it. I'm using pretty heavy thread today so that you can see what I'm doing. So it's going to show a little bit more than what you would if you were using thread that matched your fabric. The other rule of thumb is you never want to stay in the same spot and stitch on top of the same spot, because that causes a knot and it's really noticeable. So the way to do that, to get around that, is to keep stitching forward. But if you take really, really teeny tiny stitches, it secures your thread. So take 4 or 5 stitches, tiny, tiny stitches, keep moving, but they're very tiny, and then continue on. And you can experiment with both those types of starting and ending stitches, securing stitches, and see which one works best for you and for the thread that you're working with at the time.